Órale, Cholo, Choclo, los tres chingones, boxing shots, all the chingones y chingonas, man. We got the boys up in here. A lot to recap. Damn it, dog. What a crazy weekend in fighting, man. So let's go ahead and let's get Gran Chingon, El Mero one, Mr. David Contreras.
Hey, what's going on, man? I can't wait to talk about Fundora versus Spence.
It'll
be interesting. That's
yes,
something we can talk about too.
Oh, yeah, man. Let's get into El Maestro, the boxing scientist from Mikey TV, one Mr. Mike Zavala.
What it is, gentlemen. Let's get it on. Vámonos.
El doctor, the doctor.
Aquí estoy.
Yes, sir. Yo, Andrew. How you doing, man? All right, gentlemen. So we had a lot of fighting going on this past Saturday, pretty much all day long. I don't know if anybody watched the entire card of the DAZN. Sergey the Crusher Kovalev was there. He lost. Joe Cordina was on it. He lost. I want to talk just a little bit about Frank Sanchez, who actually lost in the fight. He's not really that known, but he had just a little bit of popularity, and I think it was mainly due because he was part of the Canelo camp. He suffers a loss with the little popularity that he was gaining. David, where does Frank Sanchez go from here? Is he going to become a draw, or is it over for him?
Last week, I talked about him fighting Torres. And several people said, oh, no, Torres, Frank Sanchez, what about now? What about now? Huh? What about, and we're going to talk about Fury, too. We're going to talk about that fight, too, right?
Yeah.
But what about now? We saw Frank Sanchez, and he has a weakness. You know what I mean? And we saw Torres. We saw Torres. What about now? I'd like to see that be Torres' next fight.
Okay. All right. Mikey, what'd you make about Frank Sanchez, who, again, he doesn't really draw a crowd with his fighting. I think people just kind of know his name because he was part of the Canelo camp. Now he loses. Is that just kind of taking away his stardom, the little stardom that he had?
Yeah, he got hit to the body. From what I heard, I'm not really sure. Was it kind of controversial, the stoppage? I'm not sure, but he got hit to the body. Anything could happen in the heavyweight division. I like Frank Sanchez's IQ. He fights from the outside. He'll give somebody a fight. Just, hey, man, he lost. People lose. We seen what happened to Santillan, right? I'm just playing. Yeah, no. Sanchez lost, and the kid, the heavyweight. What's the heavyweight kid that Dave likes?
Richard Torres. Richard
Torres. He's nice. He's strong. He's looking good, but he's still an 8-rounder. He's still an 8-round fighter. Like he still needs a lot. He'll see this a lot. And he'll be a good fight versus Sanchez. Why not?
Yeah, it would be, man. It definitely, and it'll be somewhat of a notable name. So I think Frank Sanchez just kind of hit a little bit of a wall. I don't think he's ever going to be that popular. I think his popularity just kind of went down a little bit. Like I was saying, I think the only reason people even know his name is because he was part of the Canelo camp. I think that's the only reason why people know the name Frank Sanchez. I don't hear anybody or see anybody waiting for a Frank Sanchez fight. So he comes up with the loss along with Joe Cordina, along with Sergey the Crusher Kovalev, man. Wow, it was crazy. Did you guys get a chance to watch the co-main event in Jaya Pataya's fight before Usyk and Fury. Did you get a chance to watch that, David?
You know what? I did. It didn't catch my attention, bro. I'll be very honest with you, man.
Okay.
There was a
Okay.
couple of rounds that I wasn't even paying attention. I just because I'm not a big fan of either. Even though I
Uh-huh.
wanted to see it because I had heard the first fight was great. I
Mm.
just, as I'm watching it, I'm talking on the phone to a camarada, and then I get another call to my daughter, to my ex-wife. So I wasn't paying attention, man. I just wasn't. It just didn't catch my attention. You know, it was probably a great fight, but it just didn't catch my attention.
Okay. Mikey, did you get a chance to watch the co-main event?
No, I didn't get a chance to watch it. I didn't get a chance to watch it.
Uh, all right. So Japataya, to me, I thought was very unbeatable. I couldn't think anybody could beat Japataya, and he didn't lose. Okay, he didn't lose. However, had there been just one more round left, I think he would have lost. I thought I don't want to say dominated the whole fight because I don't think he hands down dominated, but I think he definitely won. I would say, shoot, like 9 rounds. Maybe he didn't get one or two out of those rounds, but those last few rounds, man, he was kind of on survivor mode, and I was just like, wow, is he really gonna lose right here? It was um it was a fun fight towards the end. That's what I'll say. Was it a great fight all the way around? It was to me one-sided, but once it got exciting was when he was in trouble and he got into survival mode, and I was like, it got me up. It got me standing up, be like, oh damn, is he gonna lose? Like he's on survivor mode, man. And he was like that for a few rounds, but yeah, it was exciting. At least for that time. But I still think Jaya is the man. I do, man. I really do. But it was pretty fun. But anyway, let's go ahead and let's get to the heavyweight in Richard Torres Jr. We just brought him up for just a second. He was in there. Mikey, what did you make about his performance? I've heard a couple of people saying that he didn't really look that impressive. He looked a little sloppy. He looked a little bit like he was kind of gasping for air, that he didn't really look in too good of shape. What did one Mr. Mike Zavala see in Richard Torres Jr.?
I mean, that's how Richard Torres fights. He's kind of like a little sloppy, little. He's a southpaw, but he's strong. You could tell that kid is. He's not that big. He's what, at 6 feet, 5'11" probably. But he's strong. That kid is strong, and he's dropping big dudes, big guys. Are they tomato cans? Yeah. Are they moving him up little by little? Yes. He's still an 8 round pound fighter. Yeah, but they're taking care of him. But he is looking. I think that's his style, and he's strong. That kid is strong.
Mm. David, he was in there against an undefeated fighter.
He
Again,
was,
again, it's a nobody
yeah.
undefeated fighter, but nonetheless, it was an undefeated fighter. Do you think people are being maybe just a little too critical?
You know what? I think I'm being too critical because I mean how we
Órale.
spoke last week. You know what I mean? This guy Brady, I believe his last name is Brady. He's from Lakeland. It's probably about 45 minutes from here, from Tampa. He's undefeated. He comes from a basketball background. He comes from, I think his brothers play professional basketball, baseball. So he comes from an athletic family, this guy. And you could tell, I mean, he wasn't a great boxer, but you could tell he had stamina and he had a chin. One of the things that I was really surprised, and I text Mikey during the fight. I go, I'm really surprised. I thought Torres, because I've seen him against these other fat slobs, where he at least had some form boxing, some forms, the right, left, uppercut. But on this one, I didn't see it. And on this one, I see, like Mikey, I saw more of a mauling. And I hadn't seen that with him. Maybe because the other guys weighed 500 pounds. And this guy
Mm.
weighed 260 maybe. Tall. He was tall. He was actually taller than him. So I saw more of a mauling, like Mikey said. He is very strong, but I just saw him just mauling the guy. It wasn't a great boxing match like I've seen him before. I mean, I've seen him knock guys out. I mean, he's strong, but it was more hands-on. So is he ready for Frank Sanchez? I think he is. Is he ready for Baby Anderson? No, he's not ready for Baby Anderson. But Frank Sanchez, yes. So let's bring him one step higher. This was definitely a fight that matchmakers, it was perfect because this guy was undefeated, like you said, Cholo. He had, I believe, over 17 fights. So he stepped it up. So now let's take it to the next level and let's see him actually box because he can box.
Okay. Shouts to Mike Diaz from
Hey,
Chicano
what's up?
too, man. Saludos, JC.
That's
Um,
crazy.
yeah, yeah. Richard Torres, I will say that this fight really tests his energy and his conditioning because it looked like he had to use a lot of energy in this fight. This dude, he took some pretty good shots, man.
He wasn't going
And
down. He
he
wasn't
wasn't
going
going
down. He
down.
was in
No,
there too. Yeah.
yeah, he wasn't going down, which I think is good for Richard Torres.
Mhm.
That's experience that he needs. He's been putting guys down with lesser shots. This guy wasn't going down, and I could see Richard Torres, breathing out of his mouth and breathing a little heavily. I don't want to exaggerate and say like, oh man, he was super tired or anything, but I
Yeah.
could tell that he was using a lot of energy in there, and I'm like, okay, this is good. This is good experience for this kid, man. I like it, Mikey. David says that he wants to see him in there against Frank Sanchez. You're the matchmaker. Who would you put Richard Torres in there against?
I mean, he needs to get. He's an 8 rounder still, right?
I think
Uh,
he can
This,
go 10 rounds, Mikey, but
this,
they're babying him. He can go 10
yeah, they're
rounds.
babying him.
Yeah.
mm,
Frank Sanchez has a lot of experience. Yeah, and yes, he lost and all that. That'll be a great fight for him.
Yeah.
But he can't lose. That'll be a great fight. But I think he needs to start going to 12. Or he's getting babied a little too much. It's time to go 12. But it's a tomato can.
okay.
As long as he goes 12.
Okay, so to you then it's not the opponent, it's the rounds.
I think it's time. He looks good. He's fighting a lot of tomato cans. It's time to step up to 12. He has a name. He has a buzz. And Baby Anderson, he's good, but he's not like elite. He's still coming up. So he's right behind him, I think.
Yeah.
What would you make that fight, Mikey?
Man, that's because Torres, he is a name. He's a Latino heavyweight, and you don't want to mess it up because that's a good business. But man, Baby, he's patient, but he's not. That'll be a good fight. How about that? It's a good fight.
Okay, okay. David,
Yeah.
to you
No,
David, you
he's
you
not ready.
say you
He's
say
not ready.
Babe Anderson would take him down.
Yes, yes. Right now he would. Right now he would.
Okay,
It would hurt Torres. And I think
okay.
that his next step, I'd like to see him fight Sanchez. I'm not a big Sanchez follower. You know what I mean? Yeah, he
Mm.
trained with Reynoso, and I'm just not a big follower, man. I mean, he has that Cuban style. This guy would maul him. So I would like to see him at a 10 rounder with Sanchez and then work his way two more fights, and then he's ready for Baby Anderson. And I agree with you, Marky. I'm not a big Baby Anderson fan. I know Cholo is, but yet he likes Conor Ben too. So we're not going to hold that against him. But but what I'm saying is, I just don't see Baby Anderson as the next world champion. But I think that Torres, let's go with Sanchez, and then two more, and then let's go after Baby Anderson. And I think he could
And
beat him
Baby Anderson
right now.
didn't look good his last fight either.
No, he
He
didn't.
had a boring
No.
fight.
Yes, he
Yeah.
did.
Yeah. That was a horrible outing for Baby Anderson. Hey guys, moving along. We'll talk about Santillan in there, man, against
Oh man.
Brian Norman Jr. Both fighters undefeated. Brian Norman Jr. goes into the ring, I believe, 25-0. I couldn't really find anybody who knew of this guy. David, you were breaking down his resume. I was
Terrible
like,
resume.
I
Terrible
was like,
resume.
terrible resume, but undefeated. And I was just like, okay, well,
Yeah.
to me, Santillan, this is his show. In his hometown of San Diego, Brian Norman Jr. goes in there and hands Santillan his own nalgas, man, and does a couple of disrespectful things too. That got people talking about it. But Mikey, I'll start with you. What did you see in this fight, and what's your thought? Because you kind of pumped up a little bit.
He
You're the
did.
one on this panel. You're
Yeah.
the only one on this panel, Mikey, that
Right.
somewhat pumped up Brian Norman Jr. Talk to us, man.
Yeah, man. If you go to box record, yeah, like Dave said, nothing but tomato cans. So Dave got me on that. I'm like, shit. There's no counter on that. But what I seen is his inside game. I seen skills. I was looking at his footwork and how he fights in the inside. And I look, he has 80% knockout ratio. Yeah, versus tomato cans, but still he has knockout power. And I'm like, dude, I see something in this guy. I went to his highlights. I saw something too. I saw something in this guy. And then with Santillan, he's a one-trick pony. He doesn't really have a lot of skill, but he is fast and he is strong. What I saw in this fight, Santillan got framed to death. Meaning, he frames are controls, and Big Head was talking about it. The announcer, I forgot his name. Big Head, I call him Big Head. But he was talking about he got framed in the inside. He was getting controlled, and Brian that's why he was creating space. Hitting him with the uppercuts, hitting him with that right, and he did get hit. He showed a great chin. Santillan, it wasn't an easy fight, but he did stop him because Santillan was at home. He wanted to get a knockout. He didn't listen to Robert Garcia. Robert Garcia said, no, fight from the outside. Because Robert Garcia saw like we were seeing. He was getting beat in the inside. And he did land some shots, but he was getting beat in the inside. And there's so many shots you can take and you can eat until you get knocked out. And he got knocked out because of him. Because Santillan was stubborn and he didn't listen. Yep.
Okay. Dimitri over here basically saying that Norman did to Santillan what Santillan did to Rocha.
I think he did it worse. I think he did it worse, man. But I agree with you, Dimitri. I agree with you. Yeah.
David, what did you make of this, man? We were kind of dead set that, this is going to be a good showing for Santillan. It's going to be his time to come out, his hometown, after the good buzz that he got from beating Alexis Rocha. This is his time where he's going to start, making a name for himself. Good gosh, man. This guy took a beating, David. Talk to us, man.
First of all, I want to commend Mikey. Mikey knows boxing, bro. I remember the first time you invited me to come on the show with you guys, just as a guest. I remember watching Mikey's channel and then watching you guys, and I was intimidated by Mikey because, I know boxing, but I don't know the footwork. I don't know. I mean, Mikey knows what he's talking about. I'm telling you, my respect to you, Mikey. After because we had been talking about it, and I go, Mikey, this guy, and I pull up the record. One guy, 38 losses and 7 wins. And I start reading them, and I'm going,
I felt the pressure. I'm like, God, dude, hey, let me talk.
You saw something, man. And you know what, Mikey? And I'll tell you, as I'm watching the fight, this guy, I'll tell you, man, he was like, on PCP. And you guys know what PCP is, right? You know when somebody's on PCP, I've broken guys literally. I've broken both of their wrists. I've broken both of their shoulders. And Novato keeps fighting, and he's stronger than ever. I literally almost killed the guy, me and 6 other cops. And the guy keeps fighting. And literally, he never gives up. I've seen him break handcuffs. And watching the fight, I saw the same thing in this kid. He was getting hit hard by Rocha. Rocha, was coming up even with the uppercut, with the right hook, with the left hook. And this Vato was just like, boom, boom, nothing. You know what I mean? And I'm going, but yet when he started connecting to Rocha, when he splattered his nose, splattered his mouth, I started seeing it. I go, man, this guy, he's the real deal. He's the real deal. And I was telling Mikey that he should change his name just for publicity purposes to the Mexican Assassin. Because if you look at his record, if he has 27 fights, I'd venture to say 23 of them were Mexicans.
Mexican.
Y sabes que what he did to Rocha, the only thing that I didn't like, but I'm okay.
Hold on. You keep saying Rocha. You mean Santillan.
I'm sorry. I mean Santillan. Yes, Santillan.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the only thing I didn't like, guys, was when he knocked him down for the first time and he started doing the old Broner, humping his face. And then the second thing that I fucking hated it, to be honest with you, was after he knocked him out, he went and he sat like Indian style looking at him. You know what I mean? You don't do that. They're professionals. But I saw an interview. Actually, I saw the Robert Garcia and the Pita show and his niece. And I understood, even they asked him about that Robert Garcia. And Robert Garcia goes, He's only 23 years old. He was happy. He probably will never do it again. You know what I mean? He probably will never do it again. So that's the only thing. But you know what? This kid's a real deal, Mikey. Hats off to you, brother. You definitely know boxing. He's the real deal. All that
Thank
to
you.
say he's a real deal.
Yeah, he's sick. I like him.
Good.
And
Me
let
too.
me just bring this up real quick. Supposedly
Yeah.
he's they took him to spar Crawford and he gave him that work. I don't know if he was in a training camp with him or he sparred with him, but he gave him that work. That's the echoes around the gyms.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I would say this. Just like Santillan's breakout moment was against Rocha, Norman Jr.'s breakout moment was against Santillan. Now it's time here going forward. What does he do? He's got to keep on making some noise. And look, it could be David that maybe he is immature, and that's why he did what he
Yeah,
did
he's
when
immature.
with
He's immature.
okay, it could be that David, or it could be that he wants people talking about him. He wants the buzz. He wants the whole. Hey, I'm not here to be anybody's friend. I'm gonna be here. People are gonna know my name. Nobody gave me a chance, and this is the kind of antics I'm gonna be with. He might be like the next Adrian Broner. I'm not saying he is. I'm
I,
just saying
I hope
he
not.
could do
I
that.
hope not. Yeah, I hope
Uh,
not.
Yeah, I mean, some people like it, some people don't. But now, I think people now are going to pay attention to him,
Yeah.
and rightfully so, man. I mean, Santillan had no chance, man. He didn't really have a chance to do anything. But let me go ahead and ask you this, though, David. Then I'll go to Mikey. Do you think Santillan fighting in San Diego actually hurt him? There's that whole curse when it comes to fighters. Don't fight in your hometown because to a lot of fighters, not all, but to a lot of fighters it's a big distraction. Do you think had he fought somewhere else in Arizona, Texas, somewhere else, maybe it would have made a little difference? Do you think it was distraction?
You know what? No, this guy is two, three times better than Santillan. With all respect, I say Santillan. I like the kid. Good. This guy, no matter where they fought, and you know one of the things, Andrew, that I didn't like about that fight, they never showed Robert Garcia giving instructions throughout the 12 rounds or the 6 round,
Mm,
7 round, whenever they stopped it. Not one time did they show Robert Garcia giving Santillan any type of advice. And I'm sure he was, but they never showed it. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I kept wanting to
Yeah.
see what Robert was telling them, but they kept showing these stupid commercials, number one. And then the second thing, they would show Norman, talking. But not one time. I would have loved to have heard what Robert was telling them. I didn't see it one time. And I'm sure he was giving them the right advice. And Robert has no fault at this. He's a great coach, but this kid is just better than him, Cholo. No matter where they fought, this kid is just better than him.
okay, I was watching it on regular ESPN. Demetrius saying that Robert basically was doing a bad job not giving them better adjustments. But I'm with you, David. I'm not. I if I'm
Side.
going back into my think tank. I don't think I recall seeing Robert Garcia giving instruction. Not that Robert Garcia wasn't giving instruction, but the cameras. I'm trying to think. To the best of my knowledge, I don't remember them
They didn't,
showing.
Cholo. I wonder how
Okay.
was Demetrio was he a little fly on the wall right there listening? Because they never showed it on television. Oh, I'm telling you, they never showed it on television. I mean, what up, Dimitri? Are you
Yeah,
in the
the only thing they
Go for it,
yeah.
Mikey.
No, the only time I figured that what Robert Garcia was saying, because the ESPN telecast was saying it. Robert wants him to fight from the outside, and he needs to fight from the inside, and that's the what I got. That's why I said what I said. But yeah, I didn't really see heard Robert talk in the corner. I didn't hear that either.
No, I didn't see it one time. I was pissed because
Yeah, I didn't.
they weren't showing it. Yeah.
Yeah, we're about to do that right now, Anthony. Yeah, I didn't see the cameras really pick anything up from that corner, man. They probably showed a glimpse here, but I didn't really catch any audio of what was being said. Um, Mikey, do you think maybe distraction got in the way, it being San Diego? And I mean, there's that whole thing. To me, it just depends on the fighter. But do you think there was something to that, Mikey?
I think so. Distraction. He's coming off a great win. His last fight, I believe, is that when he knocked out the kid from Santa Ana.
Okay.
And also this fight, supposedly, according to the boxing boys, they said this fight was for Santiago to win. It was for him to get a great win. It
Yeah.
was a setup. Uh, so maybe he got overconfident because this fight was for him to win. It was at home, San Diego. That means it's for him, and he got overconfident and he didn't want to listen. From what I saw, I didn't see Robert say anything. From what I saw, you got to adjust. Either it's a coach's fault or Santiago. Like, dude, you're getting beat in the inside. You got to come up with another plan B. Do something because it's not working. You're getting hit with too many shots, too many of those shots all day. Like, you got to do something. Either tighten up your defense, fight from the outside, or don't shoot as many shots because he was going crazy at him. And it does work for him, but it didn't work for this fight.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, Demetrio, I agree with you. Not a lot of angles. He didn't really change up his game plan too much, man. He just kept doing a lot more of the same, and he
Win.
kept and he
Yeah.
kept receiving more of the same till he couldn't receive
Yeah.
anymore, man. Hey, look, congratulations to Brian Norman Jr. I'm not gonna say a star was born, but at least there's a little bit of light on him now, and I'm interested to see what he does now. I really am, man. Let's see where he ends up. And Giovanni Santana, I think people are going to be interested to see where he goes from here as well. Again, he's not that young, but I think people are going to be interested to see his comeback fight. It's got to be exciting, though. His comeback fight needs to be exciting because if everybody knows, nobody cared about watching this fight until he beat Rocha because that was his most exciting fight. Before then, you mentioned his name, people either didn't know who he was or people said he's a very boring fighter. So whatever he comes back, if he fights a tomato can, whatever, he's got to be exciting to keep that buzz going. So,
Hey,
we'll
Cholo,
see what happens.
would you like to see a rematch between Rocha and Santillan now?
I'm down.
Me
I'm
too.
down.
I'm down for
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I'm down for that. I'm down for that, man. I'd like to see that. How about you, Mikey?
Yeah, I'm down. I haven't seen Rocha. What's his moves? He needs to come
Yeah,
back too.
he's a
Because he
comeback.
once upon a time they were comparing they were patching him up with Crawford. And then what
Wow.
happened to that? So see what a loss could do too. Like sometimes we say that a loss, I said it, oh, it's just a loss, but sometimes a loss does destroy your plans big time.
Hey guys, let me ask you a question. So now Norman is a world champion. He's going to be the WBO world champion as soon as Crawford fights in August or whenever he's fighting. He's going to be the crown champion. Do you guys think he's a real deal? Do you think that he called out Conor Ben? He said one of his interviews that I saw, he called out, he mentioned him. He goes,
Yeah.
I'll go to England to fight him. And he also called out Barrios. The only one he didn't call out was Boots Ennis, but he called everybody out.
Mm.
Do you guys see him as a possible him? Can he unite three of the belts before he hits a wall with Boots Ennis? Can he do that?
I think so. I think he has the skills. I'm not with Boots though. Not with Boots, but with the other
Barrios.
with Barrios. Barrios, man, Barrios can fight for. We haven't seen Brian Norman fight a boxer from the outside. All he does is fight Mexicans, and the Mexican style is
Barrios.
banging. So
Yeah.
that's where he got his game from.
Yeah.
Body shot, moving. So that was great. But now Barrios can box. I like
I want to
Barrios.
see him
That's
fight Barrios.
boy.
Yeah.
I like Barrios. So, but that's a good fight right there. And
Me
he
too.
could be Barrios is beatable. Let's not say he's Floyd. He's beatable, but he is good.
Yeah.
And who's the other fighter you're talking about?
We're talking about Stanonius, Stanonius,
Oh,
him.
that's a bad fight too. That's a great
That's a good
fight
fight,
too.
Connor Ben,
And-
Connor Ben.
And Conor Ben, I'll keep it. Yeah, I like, but I like that Chingones fight. How about that?
Yeah.
That's a fight. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, look, all I must say, man, if he goes up against Conor Ben,
It's over.
he ain't getting back up. He's gonna
Wow.
retire. He will retire. Stay away from Conor Ben. If you know what's good for you, Brian Norman Jr. If you know what's good for you, you stay away from Conor Ben. Dog. You go over there. Well, first of all, the fight won't have because Conor Ben can't fight over there. But no, man, I think Ben will put it to him. Barrios is a good fight. I like that one. I've been the only one that was high on Barrios, man. I
You
think
were.
he's pretty
You're
good.
right.
I'm convinced of Barrios. I
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Barrios.
He's pretty good, man. But Connor Ben's on another level. He'll put it to Norman, dog. He'll put it to him, dog. But
Wow.
hey guys, let's go to the main event, man. Navarrete goes in there in a. We all know he fights weird. It was crazy. I was watching it with my sons, right? And I said to them because we were getting bored. We were
Hmm.
getting bored watching it. And I was looking at it and I'm like, well, why are we getting bored? They're throwing a lot of punches. There's a lot of action, there's a lot of movement. And then I told my sons, I'm like, you know what? They're missing a lot, especially Navarrete. Yeah, he's throwing a lot of punches, but he's missing a lot. They're moving a lot. So there looks like there's a lot of action, but they're not really landing punches and it's not really making for a good fight, especially getting towards the end. Even Tim Bradley was all like, man, this is actually kind of boring. Yet they were moving, they were throwing punches. There was, looking like there was some action, but the action just wasn't connecting, and it kind of made for a boring fight, especially coming off the Santillan Norman Jr. fight. I was like, wow, I was getting pretty bored, and I never really thought I could get bored with a Navarrete fight, man. But nonetheless, he comes out, he loses, and you had a couple people saying like, oh nah, man, it was a robbery, or it should have been a draw or whatever. I'll start with you on this one, David. What did you see in that main event?
First of all, and I was talking to Mikey during the fight, he looked sloppy. He looked fat.
Mm.
He looked flabby. And then when Tim Bradley was talking about that during the press, press with the press, or I guess they meet with the boxers before the fight.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
pre-fighter
Fighting.
meeting. Yeah, the
yeah,
pre-fighter meeting. Yeah, that he
and
was
he's
eating
eating M&Ms. You know what I
M&Ms.
mean?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And he's at 135. You can see his flabs on the side. You know what I mean? He put that new tattoo that wasn't hiding the panza. You know what I mean? Uh, so that right there, right at the beginning, I saw that. I even text Mike and go, check out the dude's a panzón now. And we started laughing. But that right there showed that he's not disciplined. And you know what? I don't think he has the knockout punch at 135. And I think that Shakur Stevenson, I can't stand Shakur, but I think Shakur will take him out. I think Camarón, I think all these guys will take him out. He doesn't have the power that he had at 130. He should keep his belt, go back to 130, and fight Venado and fight everybody else. Stay away from 135. He's not ready for 135.
Before I go to Mikey, let me ask you, David. You just said he's not disciplined. Can he go back to 130?
Oh yeah. Well, he better, because that's where he's going to make the money. You know what I mean? Obi here, he's not going to last. He's not going to last. He's not ready. I don't think he has the strength, the power for 135. But you got killers over here. Over there, you do have some killers, but he's taller than them. He's bigger than them. So se va a tener que amarrar and really sacrifice to stay at 130, because 135, he's in with piranhas at 135. He's going to get eaten.
Yeah, you know what, Hectic Nasty? Yeah, Tim Bradley can be a little bit
Yeah.
odd in the commentary, but there is something that Tim Bradley said that I did agree with. He said Navarrete has always been the bigger
Yeah.
guy,
Yes.
especially when you talk about him being in those lower weight classes.
Mhm.
Mikey, has the weight caught up to him? Is he biting off too much that he can chew at 135? Or was it just an off night? Is he just not disciplined, like David said? What happened? What happened? What did you see?
Yeah, I see a lot of things. Yeah, his diet. He talks about it openly. He said he likes sopa de vasos. In other words, he eats a couple noodles during training camp. I like to eat tacos and all that. But now you're fighting the elite. You're trying to move up in weight. Now there's monsters, and I don't think he could beat the elite fighters at 135. Maybe yet, but also styles make fights. I think his style, if you put him up with a banger, that'll be a great fight. But if you put him with Shakur Stevenson, Shakur just gonna hit him and move, hit him and move, hit him and move, maybe set him up. But it's gonna be you're gonna see him miss and miss because he's not fundamentally sound, and he's off balance. And the only way he can do that, take those gambles and take those shots and shoot those shots, those up balance. It's with somebody that's there that bangs with you and everything. So you gotta set up. You gotta choose the right opponent. But Lomachenko and them, nah. Maybe Cameron, he'll give him a good fight. But I still put my money in Cameron.
Yeah.
But maybe Cameron, he'll come at him, and he has a chance to hit him back with those off balance shots. But the guys that fight off the back foot, it'll be a slaughter, man. Maybe he should go down, but he said he can't make the weight, so he needs to be disciplined. This is
Yeah.
his first fight at 135. It was a terrible outing. He needs to go back to the drawing board, work on his fundamentals, and work on his diet for sure. But if not, go back to 130 because there's some good fights there. But his style, you got to snatch him up right. That's basically it, man.
Does he need a new trainer?
Uh, Maybe, yeah. Even though his trainer brought him this far, but he needs to work on some fundamentals. Like those shots, it worked at 130 with the smaller guys. At 135, these guys are bigger, and they're stronger, they're faster. So yeah, he needs to work on some fundamentals. Maybe get some help. Work on some fundamentals because he looked sloppy last fight, man.
Okay, David, does he need a new trainer?
I don't know enough about his trainer, so I can't be quoted on it. You know what I mean? All I know is you can't teach an old dog new tricks. And yeah, you could put him with Freddie Roach. You could put him with whomever you want, Manny Robles. But when shit hits the fan, like they say, you know what? He's going to revert right back to what he's doing today, man, because that's how he's been trained. So I don't know enough about his trainer to say yay or nay. All I know is that he will revert back to his original training when shit hits the fan.
Yeah, I would say this, man, and what I saw in the fight and all.
I
Yeah,
know.
I don't disagree with what you guys said. We all know he brings a very awkward style. He really doesn't have good boxing fundamentals. He's just kind of awkwardly. He doesn't seem to really run out of energy too much, but it doesn't look like he really has power to his punches. But yeah, he be knocking guys out too, so I can't really say
At
that
130.
either.
At 130.
Okay, in the lower weight classes.
And at
Okay, that's
126. And at
fair
126.
enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. So, yeah, when I see him fight, I would never tell anybody like, hey, you know what? That's some guy right there to copy his boxing style because he doesn't have a good boxing style, at all. He could take some good punches, but his fundamentals are way off. He's always off balance. The way he throws his punches, he's off balance. There's all kinds of stuff. There, you get somebody with some really good boxing skills, man. I think they're gonna end up just lighting them up, just like what happened on Saturday. So, um, the whole trainer thing, if the trainer's being a little too lenient, it's a little bit different in boxing because in boxing, the boxer is the boss. He's the one that hires the trainer. And it's like you're hiring yourself a boss, but you could fire your boss whenever you want. It's different than in other sports where the trainer or the manager or the coach, whatever, is hired by a team or league. But here, you, the fighter, you hire yourself a boss. And if you get yourself a yes man who's just saying like, "Oh, you're gonna eat, all right, cool," and it's not gonna point the finger and say, "No, you're gonna be disciplined. This is what you're gonna do X, Y, and Z to the T, homie." Right? Let you know how it really is. Then no trainer. Ultimately, it comes down to the fighter. Ultimately, it comes down to the fighter. If Navarrete needs a new trainer and says to himself, you know what, I need somebody who's gonna put the boots to my ass, like serio, and not let me foul up at all. He needs to go out there and find that trainer, but he needs to be the one that's disciplined because the fighter can always say, like, you know what, I fire the trainer. It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing in boxing. You hire yourself a boss, but yet you're the boss as the fighter. So it comes down on Navarrete. He's still fun to watch. I still want to see his next fight. What does he do now, Mikey?
Let me see. At 135, match him up. Like I said, he's not gonna be the elite of the elite at 135, but he will give you an exciting fight. So you got to match him up with a banger, someone that's there, and he'll go to war. We're gonna see that those
Murataya.
Mexican wars. Huh?
Murataya. Murataya.
Okay, put him up with Murataya. If he can make the weight, put him up with Murataya. That's a great name to beat. You know what I mean? That's the prospect versus the Mexican that's moving up, and he has a great following. I mean, but yeah, put him. You got to put him with the right fight. I don't have names, Murataya, but put him up with some bangers so he could look decent or he could look good and go have a war.
Yeah, I would. You know what? Since he's coming off of a loss, put him in there against not a tomato can, but a journeyman like Blue Nose Lopez. I would like to see that. That would
I
be a
think
good
Bruno will
fight.
give him a boxing lesson, man.
I think Blue doesn't give a
I
box.
like Blue Nose. Glendale right here. Dr.
Yeah,
Blue Nose. I like that kid.
I,
yeah.
I would like to see that, man. I would like to see that happen.
That's a
So,
good fight.
eh, yeah, I like that. Let's see what happens with that. Gentlemen, let's talk about the heavyweight fight, man. This was it. Champion versus champion, titles for titles. Alexander Usyk versus Tyson Fury. That fight originally was supposed to happen in December last year. Then it was supposed to happen earlier this year. We finally got it. It happened. It's done. It's behind us. It went all 12 rounds, barely, because the ropes, man, I tell you, the ropes were really helping Tyson Fury stand up. But not to say that he wouldn't have got up, because we've seen Tyson Fury get knocked down and get back up. But wow, what an exciting fight, man. What an exciting heavyweight fight. And we needed the heavyweight boxing needed something like that. David, I'll start with you, brother. What did you see?
Man, the size difference. Man, that size difference. 6'3" to 6'6" or 6'9", however big he is. I'm
Mhm.
telling you, the arm length. I mean, he could have won the fight. Fury, all he had to do was just use that jab, use the jab. He never would have gotten close to him, but he started clowning around. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? He started clowning around, started trying to be funny. He would have won the fight. It would have been, like Mikey said, a very boring fight. But I mean, when I'm watching the first round, second, third, the first round was okay, second was okay, but third, fourth, and fifth, I was thinking, man, he's literally he's one Usyk is one punch away of getting knocked out because I mean the way he was hitting, but and then when he started going down, when Tyson Fury started going down, he was getting timed, and then he was coming up with the right hook, with the left hook to the face, so he stopped going to the body. But that's all he had to do. But he started clowning around. Going to the ninth round when he knocked him against the ropes. You know what? When he started counting, I was counting with him. I went up to 25. By the time he reached the 10 count, I was at 25. By the time we went 1, 2, and even before then, the count should have started. So I'm not saying that the referee was bought, but I think he got confused and I think he panicked. Literally, when he started at 1, I went up to 25, and I'm counting just like him: 1, 2, 3. So he got a break there. I think the right guy won, but I think the rematch, I think Fury will take the rematch. I think this is going to be a 3 fight. I think this is going to be a 3 fight, and I think Usyk will take the last one. But dude, they're going to be making 100,000 in each fight. That's 100 million. I mean, that's 300 million with 3 fights. Why aren't they going to go 3? You know what I mean? They'd be stupid if
Wow.
they don't.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay. Mikey, take us through this heavyweight battle that happened over the weekend, man.
oh my God, dude. It felt like a scary movie that the monster's coming. The monster's coming. I was laughing like a little kid. Like I felt like I was like a 12-year-old laughing. I was having a ball. He was giving him a box lesson with that jab. I'm like, yeah, yeah. And then he started clowning a little too much. I'm like, what are you doing? But he got Usyk with that uppercut, and he
Yeah.
almost knocked him out. And I went nuts. And then he was hitting him to the body. You heard him again, but he was messing around too much. And then, man, Usyk is phenomenal. Jesus Christ, he came back. A close fight. He hurt Tyson Fury with that overhand left, and Tyson Fury couldn't stop that overhand left. It's easy for me to say, but Usyk was hiding it to the body. He was doing different ways, and boom, landing that overhand, and then he was hitting Tyson Fury with that, and that's when he should adjust and take that overhand right away. I don't know, keep that right hand up, keep that off hand up, whatever you want to call it. Um, man, Usyk almost knocked him out. Yeah, the referee gave him a little bit more time, but we see it in fights, especially in a fight like this, a caliber of fight like this, man. You got to give both of the fighters a chance to come back because it was a great fight. And 5-7, I give it to Usyk. The last referee had it right. It was real close. My dad was like, "Oh, he schooled him, easy fight." Like, no, it wasn't. This was even Usyk said one of the hardest fights I ever had.
Yeah.
If Tyson
Mhm.
Fury could do those adjustments, the rematch, I think he'd get it. And he's got to make it boring. I know we text with our boys from Los Chingazos and
Mhm.
Putazos. They said never make it a boring fight, but I see
If
you
he
got to
wants to
sometimes
win,
you
it
do got
has
to
to be
make it boring.
boring. Yes.
It has to be boring. Boom, 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 hug. He's got to come a little fatter. Boom, 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 hug,
Yeah.
and take that overhand left away. And if he can't, he's probably gonna get knocked out again. But man, what a fight! What a fight, Ed! What a fight, Ed!
Yeah, yeah.
Outstanding.
Shout outs to Mark and David over there on Putazos y Pendejadas, man. Um, yeah, look, I I was excited, man. I was it was a good fight. It was fun to watch. The whole clowning around, I mean, I thought he was just trying to get in Usyk's head. I thought he was trying to get Usyk a little bit mad, trying to get in his head. Those Eastern Europeans, man, I'll tell you, man, they got some poker faces. You don't really know if they're mad, sad, happy, whatever. It's man, they're like the closest thing to robots, Holmes, you know. So I thought he was just trying to get under his skin, trying to see if he could make him break or whatever, get him a little frustrated. I thought he was really feeling himself. Tyson Fury was, but that's him. Yeah, once I started seeing him get hurt, and I started seeing Tyson Fury bleed from the nose and the mouth, and he was,
Oh
breathing with
yeah,
his
that was
mouth.
a game changer. Yes, I
Yeah,
forgot.
he started breathing with his mouth open, and I told my
Hmm.
sons,
Hmm.
my sons were here all day that day, and we watched all the boxing, and I was just like, hey, look, he's breathing from his mouth, which means he can't breathe through his nose anymore.
Yeah.
Every time he takes a breath in, he's swallowing blood, man. So he's breathing through his mouth. And
Mhm.
I really thought that that was a big game changer, man. I thought that was Usyk's time to step it up, and boy, did he, man. And I thought he was gonna stop him. I really did. David, there's a lot of people that agree with you that there was a long count right there
Long.
with Tyson Fury. Now, let me go ahead and throw this at you guys, okay? There's not many people, but there are some that thought that Tyson Fury won the fight. Now, Tyson Fury at the end came out and said that they gave it to Alexander Usyk because of the war. So, in a way, to kind of give the Ukrainians a nice little pat on the back, it's like they're getting they're at war with evil Mother Russia over there. Let's go ahead and let's just give it to Alexander Usyk because he's coming from a war torn country. I don't know why Tyson Fury had to bring that up, but David, what's your thoughts on that, man?
He's a sore loser. I mean, instead of just being a man about it, saying, "Hey, you know what? Yeah, you beat me this time, but you know what? October 2nd, we're gonna play it back." You know what I mean?
Mm,
I mean, why? I think that he did beat him by 1 point, and I think the knockdown was that point. It was a very close fight. It wasn't a steal, but it wasn't a given either. You know what I mean? I think the right man won. And you know what? The guy should be a little bit more mature and think, I just made $100 million. I'm going to make another 100 million on October 2nd. Thank you for giving me the fight. But I mean, he's immature, you know?
Well, I look just to be real fair. Let's just keep it. Let's call it what it is. It was that big of a fight because of Tyson Fury.
Yes, of course.
That
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
it was that big of a fight because of Tyson Fury. He's definitely the money maker in this fight. That's for sure. He's not the better fighter. That was proven. But Mikey, what's your thoughts, man? Any chance that Tyson Fury won this fight? And what do you think about him saying what he said, dog?
Yeah, that was. Even though I don't agree with the Ukraine war. I mean, it's not our business, but I don't want to say more because I don't want to get canceled. But uh, man, if Tyson Fury would have won the 11th round, because he won the 12th round, He wouldn't 11. He would have a great argument, but no. I'm like Usyk won. Let's be fair. Usyk won with that remarkable comeback. He
He
won
did.
most of the championship rounds. Yeah, it's after the fight. He's emotional, and you're gonna sometimes you say things that you're really emotional. You're coming off your first loss, and I think if you read his tweets or whatever, he's giving Usyk great props. He's giving him thank you. From what I've seen, I don't know if it's true or not, but I've seen that he's giving him his props, and they are going to make another hit in the middle, like Dave said. So I think he said it spare the moment. The right man won, and I still think Tyson Fury will get that. He'll win the rematch with the adjustments. It's not going to be easy, and it's not guaranteed though. This one's not guaranteed. He's 50 or whatever. Usyk's the favorite.
Is he
Mm.
really, Mikey?
For the rematch? Well, he
Yeah,
won. He got the
I know,
W.
but I mean, but
Coming
it
up.
was very, very close.
Very close.
Yeah.
Very close. Well, yeah. You know what? As for now, I think Usyk's the favorite. As
Mhm.
for now, I might change my mind. Maybe I got to study tape a little bit more. But as for now, he's coming off a great win. Uh, and great momentum, like Mark says from Chingazos. He's got the momentum. This guy suffered his first loss, so uh, yeah, we're gonna have to see, man. It's a great fight. Great fight.
Yeah, yeah, and it's crazy how people are saying it was super close, which I think it was, even though there was a knockdown in the fight, man. With Tyson Fury going down and that extra long count, everybody likes to have their opinions. Oh, if that was Usyk, they probably would have stopped the fight. Who knows? We don't know. Let's not speculate or anything like that. But yeah, I definitely let's have a rematch. Could there be a trilogy? Wow, Tyson Fury has to come out and win. He definitely has to win this fight. Um, I don't know when we'll see the rematch, but
Well, they're
time
saying
it.
October 2nd.
Yeah, right.
Okay,
He's already activating it. Tyson
Yeah, they're
Fury.
reactivating it. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay. That's good. That's good to hear. Time is not really on these guys' side. I mean, Alexander Usyk, I think is 37, 38. Tyson Fury is already 35 years old, so time is not on their side, man. So let's make this happen. If we could get a trilogy out of it, this will probably be the best boxing trilogy
Yeah.
since holy smokes, man. I don't know. We're probably gonna have to go way, way back in the day. So but damn, good fight all the way around. So hopefully we get to see um the rematch. Hey guys, before we wrap it up, let's talk a little bit about a couple of things that are going on. Um, there has been rumors that the PBCs is or that Amazon is going to be parting ways with PBC after the Tank
Oh,
Davis
wow.
fight. Yeah, yeah. Again, it's just rumors. I want to make it clear, it's just rumors. However, it just came out today that they may be making the fight. It looks to be really close, almost a done deal between Sebastian Fundora against
Spence.
Errol Spence Jr. Yeah, which I'm not gonna lie, I actually like that fight. I like that fight. I do want to see that fight. You know, I first of all, I want to see what Errol Spence has left, and I think this is a good fight. I don't think I'm not high on Sebastian Fundora. I never was high on that kid. I think he's good at best, but at the most, I think he's just decent. I think he only beat Tim Zoo because of the gash on the head and the blood. That's the only reason why I had him winning that fight. Before that, his nose was busted up, and and that was like in the third, fourth round. So, but I do like this fight. I hope this fight comes to fruition, man. Mikey, I'll start with you, man. Should they make this fight?
I mean, why is Spence getting a chance to get a championship when he's coming off a loss? That's the thing. He's moving up in weight. He just got not just got, but he got destroyed by Crawford. New weight, new trainer. His eye got messed up, car accident. It's just like a whole bunch of things. Yeah, and your Fondora's not your favorite and all that, but I like when he works off the jab. He's in his weight class. He had a great fight with Tim Zoo. Yeah, because of the gash and all, but he did show some heart. He did show some skill. I like it. He was working off that jab. and he got great experience versus Tim Zoo. That was great. That was a great fight, man. I liked it. It was just Tim Zoo was just bleeding, and it was dope. It was a dope fight. So, does Spence still have it in a new weight class, new trainer, new everything? He is good, but it's old Spence. It's not this Spence. So, some people are saying that Spence might beat him, but I'm gonna go Fedora. I'm gonna
Mm,
go Fedora. Fedora,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. What's up, Mark? Putazos y pendejadas. Yeah, they're talking about having it over there in Texas, man, in the Lone Star State, homie. So, David, exactly what Mikey said. I mean, why Spence? He's coming off of a loss. I like the fight, but does he deserve it? But do you like this fight? Should they make this fight?
Before I answer that one, let me tell you about that rumor that's going around about
Mm,
PBC going under, and this is her last fight in June on Amazon. The guy that's making up that rumor is a guy by the name of Rick Glasser. That's probably where you
Glacier.
read. Yeah,
Mm,
Glazer. Yeah. You know
yeah.
what? Don't believe everything that guy says. You know what I mean?
Mm,
He's the only one that hates Al Heyman, hates PBC. So half of the things he says don't come to fruition. So just FYI, I mean, I don't see Kim, I don't see Fletcher, I don't see these other renowned guys that are writers saying that. He's the only one, and this guy's not even a writer. You know what I mean?
mm, mm,
So just FYI on that one. I don't like it. I like it because I think it's going to be like I think Matador or one of them mentioned that it's going to be. Oh, there you go, Demetrio. It's going to be a barn burner. It's going to be a good fight. They're going to slug it out. But Errol Spence, before he fought Crawford, hadn't fought in 14 months. Right now, he's
mm.
going to 17 months that he hasn't fought. Nobody. He hasn't fought anybody at 154, but yet they're giving him a chance to fight for 3 world titles at 154 when he hasn't fought 154. He hasn't fought in 17 months. I mean,
Yeah.
whom should be fighting is Crawford. Should be fighting, even though he hasn't fought at 154, but he didn't lose his last fight at 147. You know what I mean? Why are
Wha-
you rewarding Spence? And plus, what I'm reading about Spence, about his former trainer suing him because he ripped him off for a lot, for millions of dollars. I mean,
Right.
does he deserve this fight? No, he doesn't. And because he doesn't, I believe he's going to get knocked out. I believe he's going to get hurt. I think Fundora, I'm not a big fan, just like you, Cholo. Fundora, not a big fan. I like the kid, but I don't think he's world champion material. Tazoo would have beat him if it wasn't for the cut. But I think that I hope he gives him a boxing lesson. He retires this kid. Anybody that doesn't treat another man, especially his trainer, steals from him, doesn't even deserve to wear gloves.
Wow, coming hard from David. The
It's the
only thing
truth.
I disagree with you, David, it's not 17 months. He fought Crawford in what was it? What
I read about it
I guess
today. 17 months. In 17 months. Look it
Spence?
up. Spent 17 months.
No, it has
Either no, it was either 17
he,
months when he fought Crawford, before he fought Crawford, and it was 14
oh,
now. It's one of those two, but it's 17 and 14. I read
because
about
he fought
it today.
because he fought Crawford in June, I believe, of last year.
Let me see. I'll look it
Yeah,
up.
look it up. Look
So
it up. Yeah,
so
because I
so
read
it
about
it would
it today.
it would be just about a year or so. But yeah, before Crawford, it had been quite a while since he
Yeah,
fought
it
him.
was
But
17 and 14.
Uh, yeah, look, I would say this, man. Does it make sense for him to get a title shot like this? No, it doesn't.
July
It doesn't make
29th.
sense at all. July, okay.
July
So
of 21. Oh,
no, no,
July
no.
23.
They
July
What?
fought in July
29th.
29th, 2023.
Oh,
Yeah,
July
July.
23.
July
Okay.
of last year. Yeah. Does it make sense for him to get a title shot? No, it doesn't. But do I like the fight itself?
Yeah.
The fight itself, I'm not gonna lie. Yes, I like the fight itself. No, it doesn't make sense for Spence to move up after he took a complete ass whooping in his last fight. Why does he get a shot at the gold? Doesn't make sense to
Three
me.
goals. Three.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
I didn't even know it was three.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. Does it make sense to me? Should it happen? No, it shouldn't happen. Do I like the fight though itself, just for the entertainment value? Yeah, I do. So I mean, pick your poison, man. Yeah, I do like the fight, but I will be watching. So we'll see what happens with that. If it comes to fruition, I think it's gonna be a good one. So that's what I would be saying. Guys, there's also a little bit things going on about actually Virgil Ortiz and Tim Zoo, man. Um, I don't think there's anything set, but it's definitely just getting thrown around. I think it's just getting thrown around from different people, just throwing it out there, hoping that people can pick it up so it could come to fruition. Um, Man, that would definitely be something to watch right there, man. I would definitely love to see that
Hey,
fight.
Cholo, it is. It's already been publicized.
Tim Zoo against Virgil
Yeah,
Ortiz.
yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was already done deal.
It's a done
It's
deal.
not.
A
Let
month
me
ago.
see.
Let me look it up.
Yeah, it's gonna be on the
Aren't they
card.
fighting in the other card?
Yeah, the
Of
Crawford.
Crawford. Of Crawford. That's
Yeah,
right. That's
yeah,
right.
it's already
Okay.
been publicized. Yeah, it's a done deal.
Okay. Yes. 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 Of the Crawford here in LA. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. You're right. I'm off my rockers, Holmes.
yeah,
You're right. You're right. You're right. It's definitely off that one, man.
yeah. Hey, Cholo, let's talk a little bit about
Mazadov fight.
Mabili tomorrow. Mabili, he's
Yeah.
fighting. What do you guys know about him? He looked really good last time, and he's a Canadian fighter, right? Canadian, and he's fighting tomorrow in Canada.
France. I see
Oh,
a
he's
France,
fighting.
a French
Is that what he
fight, and
is?
I also see Ghana. No, no, it's not Ghana. It's man, I had it right here. But I think he's fighting out of Canada because there's a lot of French.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But what do you guys
Yeah.
think about that guy? They're making him sound like he's the next Canelo victim. Not now, but I mean in the near future. Is he that good? I saw his last fight. He looked good, but I didn't know who he was fighting. Do you guys think that he might be the real deal?
You talking about him, Billy?
And Billy, yes.
Yeah. Um. I I like him from the little that I've seen of him.
Mhm.
He's definitely gotten more popularity because again, you start mentioning Canelo in the same sentence as certain fighters, they just start their popularity starts growing. So if Canelo was not in the conversation, I don't think anybody would know him, Billy, right now. And when I say nobody would know him, I don't mean that boxing fans will not know who he is. I just mean I don't think people will be looking forward to his fights the way they are right now. Whenever you mention his name and Canelo's name, Mikey, what do
Yeah.
you think about him?
Yeah. From what I've seen, I like it. He's an inside fighter. He's a banger. He'll go to war. Him and Mungia. Him and if he
Yeah,
goes at it with Canelo, if he goes at it with Canelo like that, Canelo was gonna knock him out. Oh my god. But I like him. He has an 83% knockout ratio. Who has he fought? He doesn't have nobody in his record from what I'm seeing. And he's gonna fight Mark Heffron. I saw a little bit of highlights of him. He's pretty good. He has like an 80% knockout ratio also, but I'm gonna give it to him, Billy. He's faster in the inside uppercuts. He fights like a Pitbull Cruz type of fighter. He's even faster. And he's strong. I like him. I like him, Billy. But can he beat Canelo? No. Munguia, that would be a great fight. That'll be a great fight with all the 168ers. That's a great fight, dude. He's a good fighter. I like him. I like him.
Yeah, I like JC. Can he be the next Superman Stevenson? Yeah, I remember Stevenson. He was good, man. I
he's good.
liked him. I liked him. We talked a little bit about Connor Mark, and Norman Jr. just better stay away from Connor Benn if he knows what's good for him, man. But yeah, and you know what? Just to wrap it up, also, man, it's the rematch tomorrow with Catterall and Josh Taylor. Real quick, David, who do you like in that fight? It's the rematch. The first one, they thought Catterall got robbed.
Yeah, I
What's
got
your thoughts?
Catterall. I'm not a big fan of either one, but I got Catterall on this one
Yeah, I
because I
got
think
Catterall.
I did watch that fight. He got robbed. Yes, he did.
Okay, Mikey.
Yeah, I got Catterall. What weight class are they? Is it still at 147? I mean, at 140?
I believe it's 140.
Yeah, this what's his name can't make the weight. He's always injured. That's not his weight class no more.
Mhm.
He's a tall fighter. He's a big fighter. He outgrew the weight class. Catterall's gonna out hustle him. and outbeat him. And from what I see, and yeah, I got Catterall.
Yeah, Catterall definitely got something to prove, man. Taylor, he's been talking about going up in weight for a while now, for a while. So, Taylor's got something to prove too. I think that's why he's wanting to do this fight because I think he's got something to prove to say, like, nah, Charlie, I beat him and I'm gonna show you guys. I just think Catterall, this is his time to shine, man. This is
Yeah,
his time to shine. So yeah, I definitely got Catterall on this one. But with that, gentlemen, we'll go ahead and call it right there. It's Memorial Day
Yeah.
weekend. Shout outs to everybody who lost anyone, man, serving the country, um, past, present, or in the future, man. May God bless them. So, whatever you guys do this weekend, be safe doing this. We'll come back and do it again. David Contreras, Mike Zavala, Cholo Trucker, Los Tres Chingones Boxing. Shout out to all the Chingones y Chingonas. Catch you guys on next round.